Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning real estate marketing show with Ruthie Rocks, Ruth Allbrand, and I am Marketing Max. Today is episode number 471. And we have actually a new guest this time. We haven't had a new guest in a while, Ruth, and I'm excited about this. His name is Anthony Mendoza with a company called West. And he's been helping real estate agents with their, not only their personal branding, but also their marketing here in this new digital age. So we're excited to hear another voice, another opinion, another perspective that's helping real estate agents from what we're doing here at Agent Formula. So, but before we get to Anthony, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas?
Well, the good news is we bumped up a couple points in the available inventory. We were down at 0.70 now of months. Now we're at 0.726 because because people have been listing the heck out of homes this week. Yesterday they listed 149 homes and they put 123 under contract, which means the net gain was a little bit.
All right, fantastic.
And we closed 190. This month so far, we've closed 810 homes, which is an record average of 162 homes a day. This is the first complete week of the month and the first time we've done that in 5 complete days. So unbelievable stats here.
Wow.
Year to date, we've done 7,748 homes. That's 1,103 from the year to date last year more. 1,103 more homes, condos, and townhomes sold than last year. And now we are into pandemic territory of 2020. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see how that affects the next March, April, May stats compared to last March, April, May when we were on lockdown.
Right. The number is going to be relatively very strong.
Very strong,
I guess.
So just so everybody knows, the interest rates inched up this week. They went to 3.23 last Saturday. I think we were reporting 3.18. Not a big jump, but a little bit. And the rentals, I'm going to jump real quick into the rentals because if you have investors out there, this is a fantastic way to show them the market that they should be a part of. We have leased 1,671 homes in February, and February is not that big of a month in leasing. And now we only have 1,352 available, and for March. So I think if I was an investor, I might want to buy an investment home. What do you think, Max?
Yeah. So give me the stats again.
So last month we leased 1,671 homes.
Okay.
If you check the market today, there's only 1,352 available.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if people need to move in, like February, they needed to move in, we're going to have some issues. But the thing is, maybe they'll have to move into apartments.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. Right. So you're saying that there's almost 300 less houses to lease right now.
Yes.
Available.
Than we leased in February.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. I'm just going to start watching that market a little bit because I see we have a property management business. We manage 400 homes and we have them on the market less than a week and they're gone.
Wow.
And it's amazing. And it's interesting how people that come into this market fresh don't realize, they think they've got, a wide variety of homes. By the time they get to the home to look at, sometimes it's got an accepted application. So anyway, that's the state of that market. Everything else is just fantastic. I wanted to show one other thing, Max, before we bring our guest on today. Let me see if I can get this up here. Of course, it's over there, but that's okay. So if you look at February, our median price home is $355,000. And that's up from February of 2020, 12%. But it's up from January 2020 of almost 3%. So we're already seeing appreciation in the first 2 months of this year. And the median price of new listings is $362,000. Now, that'll probably, it might up the median price a little bit. We shall see. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but it's 8% up from 2020 of February last year.
Wow.
So Yeah.
So, I mean, this by far probably is the hottest real estate market in Las Vegas in probably the last 20 years here.
Yeah.
I mean, even more so than the prior financial crisis. And the good news is it's being driven by actual real demand and real income and capability instead of what we saw during the financial crisis.
Exactly. Okay, so I will we'll get ready to bring Anthony on, and let's see, let me hide my stats, and we'll bring Anthony on and see if we can put him in the middle. I may have to go up and down. Go. All right.
You want
to be in the middle, Max?
No. Let the guests be in the middle and get everybody's attention, right? So,
all right.
I like this.
It's like that song, the stuck in the middle with you.
Right there you go. I like you already, Anthony. Welcome to the show, man. Not only did he adjust his camera without us prompting him, but he gave us a little rendition there. So, welcome to the Ruthie Rocks Real Estate Marketing Show at Marketing Max here, Anthony. I always ask the guests, the first question I ask is, are you a native Las Vegas? Was it Las Vegan is what we would call, right?
Yeah, not vegan.
Right, Las Vegan. Or are you a transplant like, well, Ruth is a transplant too, but she's pretty ingrained here. But I'm a transplant from Southern California. So how about you?
So I don't want to... Not so much Las Vegas, Henderson. And I'm about as Henderson as they come, like basic high school, Water Street, skateboard, backpack, lifestyle.
Crazy.
Like I am like born roots, whole family. It's funny because I went to the same high school that like my mom went to and all of my uncles and everybody went to. And
no way.
Yeah. So there was a funny story that my mom always told. He ended up being my neighbor. And he was the Coach Cahill for basic high school. And he would always, every time I saw him in class, he would like shake an eraser at me because there was one time, his most epic time in his teaching history, where my aunt fell asleep. He grabbed the eraser and threw it across the room. And this is back when there was chalk erasers. So it left like a big chalk imprint on her forehead. So yeah, I'm about as Henderson as they come. So
wow. So second generation or first generation, was your parents from Henderson too, or?
My mom was, my dad was, and my dad was from Fresno, California. Yeah.
Okay, got it. It's a good improvement. Henderson from Fresno. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
you're lucky, man.
Sure.
You could have grown up in Fresno.
Dude. Oh yeah, I've had my fair share of Fresno in my life. I told Ruth a little bit about my backstory, but the Fresno Fair and everything like that. I did my time in Fresno, and I'm good.
Okay, fantastic. Well, yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing these days. Obviously this show is about marketing and the reason why Ruth. And first of all, how did Ruth and you hook up? Like, how did you guys get together and even get to know about this show?
Through the title company, right? WTG.
Yeah. So I was in the office the other day with a counterpart and WFG. We're talking to a couple agents and Ruth came in and kind of sat in the back of the room for a minute, and I was just kind of going. And then I kept getting like a couple questions here and there, and they were really good, like influential questions where I was like, oh, all right, let me steer this class in a different direction.
Okay.
Because it was more of like kind of just a basic marketing class that ended up transforming into just a really good conversation. And then we got to talking a little bit more. Asked me if I'd like to come on to the show this weekend. Of course, have to say yes because she had such good energy.
Yep.
And then joined it into here. But yeah, I think we were talking everything from like Google My Business, Google local screen ads. I had Facebook advertising up on the screen when she came in, and well, the idea was of that little class lunch and learn style thing was they wanted to do open houses, but COVID style open house, so it was like an open house online. Didn't want to do it the normal way where it's like, hey, I just want to show off the house. Here we're at 123 Main Street. Look at the kitchen, look at the bedrooms, because those go so quickly that it's why go live? Why go live if you're going to walk through the house for like 2 minutes?
Right.
So I wanted to give some more substance to their lives so that they could actually get an audience and have a little bit of engagement and fun with it. They had all the ladies there had great personalities. So I always, whenever I see somebody with a great personality, I'm like, your lemon, let me squeeze the juice out of it. Let's make some
go.
lemonade here. You know what I mean?
There you go. There we go. Okay,
So
perfect. So
yeah.
So let's take a step back.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back here. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what your focus is on and with the real estate community.
Yeah. So my main focus is growth, like implementation and growth. So the one thing that we've been kicking around a lot lately is results over theory.
Okay.
Because there's so much of it just being theory. Like when we look on social or we look online, all we see are theories. Everybody wants the drums of knowledge, but nobody shows the implementation. So a case study that I've been looking at lately and some of the other MTDs at West, what we've been focused on is that results over theory. So how can we work with our agents to implement things that actually work, monitor how it works, and then be able to tell the next person this works because blank. And we tested it with blank. That I think has so much power, and that's where my real focus is implementing the things that we talk about, implementing the ads, seeing how much you're spending on them, seeing the actual conversion is, because it's amazing to get an ad that runs, you get 70 leads a weekend, spend $1.50 a lead or less, and then you're stuck with a bunch of leads. You don't follow up with them. What happens next? So we want to look at what those numbers on, and that's my main focus is when we go in to talk about whether it be Facebook advertising or Google advertising, YouTube pre-roll, any type of digital ads, or even branding, what is this going to look like on the back end? So what is that 30-day, that 60-day, that 90-day goal that we want to accomplish, and how can we get there? I talk so much about ads because that's the number one thing I get asked for, because everybody wants leads. You know, I want to buy a lead, I want to sell this lead, I want this lead, I want that lead. Right. And it's a great conversation. It's the easiest conversation to have. Yeah, if you want leads, grab the credit card. Let's do it. I got a formula for you. You know, you're going to spend this much on a lead. You're going to go here. You're going to do this. It's an easy follow-up. But the problem with it, and the conversation that me and Ruth ended up having, was people die there. And how do you retarget them to where they raise their hand and listen, and they want to be on the newsletter, want to do other things? So yeah, long-winded version is just that my main focus is the implementation of marketing, whether it be on social media or in print or whatever it is in the real estate industry, that generates results that are trackable and scalable. Yeah.
No, I mean, you make a great point. I mean, we've evolved the last, now what, Ruth, we've been doing this now almost 4 years, this show. Crazy to think back. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, there was a lot of theory, right? Because there's really we couldn't draw a lot of examples from. And, you know, to Ruth's credit, one of the things that I, kind of pushed her on early on to do is like, whatever we're teaching and whatever you're teaching here, you got to make sure you do and implement on the back end to see it's because we can track numbers now. I mean, that's a great thing about technology now. And the marketing platforms is they have all these stats for us. Right. So, but I'm glad to see the industry, the people out there who are coming out and helping these agents and just businesses and marketing in general, not touting theory and what they just heard from Gary Vaynerchuk anymore. And actually, here's an actual example with stats, and building a process. You're absolutely right. A lot of real estate agents, they want leads, but then once they start getting leads, they have no idea how to like squeeze every ounce of possibility out of that one lead. So what do you think is, the best? Let's talk about leads first, because I know real estate agents love that, like you said, right? So what do you think is if you were starting with an agent, if I'm like, Anthony, I've been in real estate for a couple of years now, I got a budget of maybe $1,000 a month, right? To start upping my level of marketing, for 2021 here. Where do we start?
Well, the first thing I ask is, what's your objective? Like, what's the goal that is in place for you? And that goes kind of down to, and how do you work? If hey, I got $1,000 a month and I want to do some more marketing. If you're a Brian Feeney style agent, I'm not going to push you to do Facebook ads. Okay. If you're Tom Ferry, if you're somebody that's lead heavy, likes to get on the phones, likes to do that, then we'll go lead focused. So that's really where I start with it is, hey, what's your objective and how do you like to work? Because if I come in and tell you, hey man, these leads are awesome, I love ads, let's run them, and you don't like getting on the phone, then it's nope. And I I say that humbly because so many times in my early career, I'd walk into offices and be so excited about something like HomeBot's out. This is the greatest thing in the world. We're getting leads on it, blah, blah, blah. And they go to office and tell somebody that they need to use it, and it doesn't fit their business model whatsoever. So if you came up and said, hey man, I got $1,000 a month, I want to start increasing the amount, increasing my marketing and seeing how I'm going to do more. So what I'd break that $1,000 down into is what's your objective? If you're going to be Buffini, we're going to talk about experiential marketing. So how can we create experiences in people's real estate transactions that you're going with them so that they share online and tag you, so it becomes more referrals. So we're using social media as the engine to create referrals. So what that cost breakdown would look like is $75 an interaction. And you can multiply that out. So if we have $1,000 a month, you can divide 1,000 by the 75. And I wouldn't even do the full 1,000. I'd probably go with like half that 500 on the experience, and then another 500 in creating content and distribution, so that you can create that full story around that brand. If you're more of that Buffini style sales, if you're more lead focused and you're like, hey, I just want to get more leads and fill the funnel because I have a team that I'm trying to feed. Then we'll look at something else more along the lines of audience message mechanism. So who's the audience that you want to go after right now? Clearly define that, grab a data set that we can use to pump into a custom audience on Facebook, and then run ads to them for a week or two, analyze that data, see if that audience is reacting to the message that you're giving them, and then have that as a qualified way to get leads. Because when you're doing it that way, then you're saying, hey, I know that my audience is people who have equity in properties. I want to market just to them. So we could take that data, give it to Facebook, and run ads specific there. So if you're more lead focused, I'd go that way.
You start with Facebook first, not YouTube, not Google AdWords. Okay.
No, so for that would be low cost. So $1,000, I think we can squeeze the most juice out of the lemon on Facebook with $1,000.
Okay. So let me take one step back further too, just so you know. I mean, a different segment of our audience is like that maybe not brand new agent, but like the agent that 6 months, a year in, like literally maybe $100 in marketing budget a month, right? And if you, and just disclosure, if you don't have $100 for marketing budget as a real estate agent, probably want to save up for that. So
I can get down with $100 a month too.
All right. Yeah, Ruth,
well, I was just going to say, Anthony, what I've been teaching the social media class now for 4 years, and watching the analytics. And if you don't have $600 to spend, like $5 a day on boosting, X amount of dollars on getting more followers, and X amount of dollars on doing the ads, you're gonna walk away with a sour taste in your mouth.
Okay.
So if we're talking low cost, I moved it down and I like had a if we're talking low cost, like give me $100 a month, Anthony, like what can I do? I'm gonna push you to Instagram, because Instagram is gonna give you the best guerrilla warfare style marketing, to where you're gonna create your sales funnel. Whenever you guys are looking at any of this stuff online, always think, what is your sales funnel? How is the experience going to happen as they go through it? So what I'd say is be prepared to spend some time thumbing things out. These guys are going to get 6-packs. If you're on Instagram, you get $100 a month, and the way it's going to happen is you're going to go into Instagram and you're going to find out what your brand is. This is all free stuff. Use something like a brand archetype quiz. And if you need one, I have one on my site and I can send it out to you guys. Identify a brand archetype, so your brand has some alignment with people, so they can raise their hand and say, you know what, I identify with this brand. I want to work with them more. That way it's not just listed, just sold, industry jargon, things that, that they don't always know. Like, what does just listed mean?
Exactly.
You sell homes, you're a real estate. Where are you listing it? What is a list?
Right.
So identify first $100 a month. Be prepared to go on Instagram. Identify your brand in the beginning. Align it using our brand archetypes. So you understand what your story is going to be, so you can repeat it over. From that $100, before we even get to the $100, we're going to go in and we're going to do things like hacking the algorithm. We're going to identify a list of hashtags that we can actually scale on and grow in, because not all hashtags are created equal here. You know, you have some hashtag love, hashtag puppies. You're not going to be seen in it. I'm sorry.
No,
it's not going to happen.
Correct.
And then hashtag Anthony loves Las Vegas. Nobody cares about that hashtag. So identify the hashtags that you're going to use repeatedly.
Anthony,
So
just saying the Instagram hashtag algorithm that we follow is, if you want at least 1/3 of your hashtags to be under X amount of views, and then you want the middle, and then you want the top end. So you want 3. Do you go by that theory?
Yeah. So I use the way that I say it is have exactly like three types of hashtags. And I have the never gonna happen. You're gonna have the kinda, and then always. And what those are is the always is every time you use that hashtag, your post will be seen in it. Maybe are going to be the bigger hashtags that you can start growing in on their little top grid, and there's enough time in between posts that you can be seen in as well. And then the never going to happen are those hashtag loves, hashtag puppies. So yeah, super similar.
Okay, and so you're obviously starting to create content, right? What type of content are we creating here?
So that's where you reference your brand.
Okay.
If your brand archetype, and the reason why I love archetypes is it gives you like safeguards. You know, if your archetype is a sage, and that's usually the people that are looking to inform. It's going to be a lot of stats. It's going to be frequently asked questions. Did you know? Type of content, so that you know what that story is going to be and how you can push it more and more. And if your archetype is going to be the guy, gal next door, then it's going to be stuff like relatable types of content. Might be a little more funny, might be a little more fun having you guys going on trails around Vegas, hiking, biking, stuff like that. So it's relatable things to do style content. If you're a hero style archetype, it's going to be, hey, these are the problems people face, and this is how we get to the end. And this is how I can coach you and train you to get there. So having that archetype allows you to open that door of like, hey, what kind of content am I creating? Because that's a big question too. People are like,
absolutely. Like,
yeah,
what am I gonna put up? Am I eating breakfast in the morning or?
Yeah. Well, and that's such a big thing where people are like, everybody tells them to make content. What does that mean, man? And it's really identify what you want to say, and then say it until your vocal cords hurt, and just say it over and over and over again.
Right.
Because it'll get remembered. You know, I used to always just tell people like, post your life, man. Post your life. Just do your thing. Like, go on Instagram, post about your kids, post about your family, all of that. And then they'd be like, hey, well, all my friends and family followed me, but nobody else is following me. I hit like a plateau. What happened? And I'm like, I felt lazy. I was like, I'm not giving them a strategy here. But what's fun about the content is that if you're a new agent and you're just starting to create content, make everything. Literally make everything. Because after 2 or 3 months, the beauty of having a business Instagram or a business Facebook account is analytics and data. You can go into the analytics after 2 or 3 months and analyze what content got you the best reach, analyze what content got you the best impressions, what people reacted to, and make more of that content. If people loved seeing you do something, do more of those videos, but make it personal. Add your personality to it. Add your touch of flavor on it. If you have something that sticks out to you, do it more. Because if not, you'll get lost in the minutia of Instagram, where it's just house, and like Canva posts. over and over again.
Exactly right. Motivational quotes related to real estate.
Yeah. Just a picture of me with always grinding.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to get back to this, but I want to stay on Instagram real quick. But I do want to dive a little bit deeper into like the archetypes. How many are there really quickly? And then I want to go back to Instagram. A question on Instagram first. Go ahead.
There are 12 different archetypes.
Okay. So maybe on a deeper show, we'll have you back, Anthony. We'll start breaking down the archetypes, because it's truly valuable. Because if you have an idea, and I love your idea at the beginning, just create a whole bunch of content. Let's look at the analytics, and then maybe allow the analytics to help define what your archetype is, that you naturally engage with, and then create that archetype over and over again. But what about stories? Like, so there's obviously the timeline posts, right, that you do that. And what about stories? Are we doing the same thing on hashtags and stories? Are we doing stories? How many?
So I love that you asked this question. This is something that I've been like trying to punch the real estate brick wall at lately. Right. Is if you're somebody who uses Instagram, Facebook, or any platform almost anymore, and you have listings and you've been getting listings, ask your listing photographer to turn the camera vertical and take pictures. Because when we talk about how do we break through the noise of stories, right? We use pictures that weren't made for stories, and then it looks weird. Right. And if you are if you feel like it looks weird, somebody else is going to too. So always bear that one gut check question in mind of, if I don't like it, will somebody else? Or even, why am I marketing to somebody the way I wouldn't want to be marketed to? Mm-hmm. So when we use stories, that's the one thing I'm saying is, hey, go in there, ask the photographers to get vertical shots so that you have really, really crispy, really, really nice photos of homes that you can use in other, like use Canva, throw some text over it, do whatever you want with it. And then the flip of it too is stories can be the perfect window into your life. With Instagram, you have kind of the two thought process. You have should I just create a bunch of content out in the world and let them tell me what works? Or I would like my grid to be aesthetic. I want to have a nice color scheme. I want to have the way it's laid out and looks good. And you're like, okay, that's awesome. Now that I have a nice aesthetic, I really want to post this thing, but I don't want it to ruin the aesthetic. That's where stories comes into place.
Get it? Okay.
Because then you can start throwing more stories on. As we're seeing things add up in social, stories are the most watched because they're the easiest and quickest to digest. So remember that when you're putting out stories, it has to be something. It's basically like driving past a billboard. It's got to be quick. It's got to be digestible. It's got to be easy or engage in some way.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and then you could post those as much as your heart's desire, but don't be the guy that has like 1,000 up top and you have to be like,
right. And after a while, you're like, this, get to the point already. I mean, I don't want to see you cook an egg through your stream of stories. I was like, this is not interesting. Okay. Yeah. So what about, I've been pushing, I think there's a trend happening. I think the trend actually started happening probably about a year ago here, is the difference between, on the fly, Blair Witch Project type of quality content, like just shaking camera, fuzzy, whatever, wind chime, wind going in, versus like actually real, thought out, content where the sound is good, the video is good, there's music, there's it's curated, it's quality now. Mm-hmm. Right? What do you think about those two different types of contents, and is there still room left for the on the fly low quality, what I call it, content?
Like, I'm gonna get super cliche here and say that story rules overall. Like, okay. That's my default answer is, whether it be shaky video with horrible quality, if the story is there in it, awesome. If it's a super, because I've seen so many people spend like a whole lot of money on production and the story not be there, and then it's just again, it looks like just a house video.
Right.
So have a story, like, and if you are again curious, like, I don't know how to write stories, man, what do I look like, an English teacher? Pick a book. It's called All Marketers Are Liars. Actually, it's All Marketers Tell Stories. It's a nice little book, small read, and read through it, it'll help you develop the idea of a story, like how a story works. On the fly video is awesome for that peek behind the scenes. But what's the story? Is it just you, hey, out here grinding again in front of my new listing, just got another one?
Right.
Or is it you chasing your open house signs because they keep falling down in the wind, and it has some like comical approach to it, and it's kind of funny. You set up your camera on a tripod as you're chasing it across the street, or balloons or something. So there is a middle ground. I think that there has to be a quality content that sets yourself apart from just the everyday Instagram social media account. But I also feel like there has to be a story.
Yeah.
That goes along with it. So that's where the two kind of would meet. The number one thing I tell people all the time, anybody who has big budget for marketing, they're like, hey, I want to spend X amount on marketing, or if they tell me like, hey, Anthony, magic wand, you can whatever you want. Videographer. For me, the number one thing, I have a piggy bank, man. I got a 5-gallon jug of quarters for a videographer one day. Like, that's going to be my number one thing, because content creation and distribution are what really drives marketing, especially now. So if you are a busy agent and you're like really trying to grow, and you don't have time to make videos and stuff for social, get somebody that understands story and that can make videos for you and have that content, that consistent amount of content. If you're an agent who can't afford the budget, read a couple books on story. I understand how you can start using story more, and then start just throwing content out there. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody needs to have like a hook, right? That reels people in, right? Like when you start off some content, some of the really good things I like YouTube is a perfect example. Like the whole, the art game in YouTube, and the what they put as the hook. It's important, because there needs to be the audience, or whoever you're engaging with, needs to like want to watch and watch to the end for a reason, right? And if it's just you, just grinding again, they're like, okay, Anthony's just grinding again. We all know what happens at the end. But if you say something like you said, I lost 6 signs and caused a traffic accident today, tune in, or something like that, and then rebuild it, right? So like there's got to be a beginning and an end to something that intrigues people. So no, that's good. And
you can take them on a journey. You can have them to where they're ready to watch the next post before you post it,
right?
Because they're invested in something.
Correct.
I just saw blank happen. Like somebody's at Anthony's out at the whatever fair, carnival thing, whatever it is, whatever you have set up. If you're out like at a street fair and you're passing out cards and it gets super windy and your canopy blows away, cut the video right there.
Exactly right.
And then ready for another one so they can see what happens. So you can build some of that intrigue and interest, and have hooks to it. So, hey, I went door knocking today and this happened, you would never believe. And it could be something good, something bad, but it builds that intrigue. Like you're saying, it gives them the hook.
Right. Exactly right. So, I mean, my whole point with Ruth is that the content needs to, some of it, right? Not all of it, not every piece content, but some of it needs to be thought out a little bit more to have the elements of storytelling in there, because that's what creates engagement. That's what creates that investment, right? That time. Why am I going to invest these next 30 seconds, 15 seconds to watch? And I remember in the beginning, there was a real estate agent in town. Her name's Rachel DiPietro, I think is her name. And her and her friend made an Instagram story that told a story about something like you'd never believe what happened the other night. And I'm like, what happened? So I kept going through it. It was something lame at the end, but I'm like, dude, that was perfect, because it hooked me. And that's what all content creators need to start implementing, right?
The flip of that though is like, what content should we not create? And I think this is a conversation nobody ever has, and I'm probably going to get burned at the stake for this. But I was scrolling on Instagram pre this, and because I was kind of waiting, I was all set up, ready to go, and I came across it was a TikTok post that was posted on Instagram, which I think is a hilarious trend right now in and of itself. But the lady was saying, oh, you're ready to look at houses before getting a pre-approval. And it did like that background, that dun, 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 dun. And then her next quote was, do you think I'm crazy and have all the time to waste driving you to look at houses. You're putting this on your social for your clients to see? Like, that is, what if you went to a dentist and he was like, you didn't brush your teeth before you came in here? Who do you think I am? I mean, you have drops of Tums in your, or like not a Tums, but like a mint in your mouth. Like, that's the type of content I think we shouldn't create, because you can say the same thing. You can say the same thing, but in a different way. Instead of like, you think I'm crazy, I'm going to waste all my time. It would be the flip of that is, hey, why is it important to get pre-approved before looking at houses? Because the market is so crazy. And here's the stats. We want to make sure that when you go look at a house, you're ready to buy and put an offer in, because if you go look at a house and you're not pre-approved, you're not going to get the house because it's flying off the shelves. So I want to prepare you as my client to make sure that when you're there, you have the best fighting chance to get any home that you want. And here's how we do it. And I just think there's so many different approaches for the same piece of content without having that.
Yeah, the rule I always follow is you always want to be self-deprecating, right, in your content, and building your audience up, right? I mean, your audience is the gold, and how I would approach that video is if I wanted to do something that was a little bit more shocking or, you know, whatever in your face, it would be more like, you know, I'm a sucker and I would take you out regardless, but just be prepared for us both to cry at the end.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
right?
Exactly,
something like that. To
tearing up in your car on the way home, you're just like,
denied on the loan approval, right? After you spent like 20 hours taking them out. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I see some, you know, like every once in a while, the real estate agents talk, you know, they talk about all the things that like that bother them or that whatever, and they got to be very careful, because that is a big turnoff. For some people, it's like, hey, if you don't want to work with me, then fine, right? I mean, that's the attitude that some people will want to take, and I get it. You're trying to filter out the people that you don't want to work out, but you got to walk a fine line when you start creating content that like sends a message, to the people that you're trying to serve.
Yeah, and I think there's a place for having a voice. I think there's a place for being genuine, being authentic, being you, and having your voice, and knowing what to say and when. And if anybody who knows me well is going to hear that statement and be like, Anthony, I'm proud of you. Starting in this career, I was not an eloquent person whatsoever. And I'm not saying that I am now, but I would wear all white leather Vans and donut shirts into offices to try to get business. That is horrible. And nobody told me no. So
Wait,
it's like,
take a step back. What's a donut shirt? And let's put it on let's put it on your Instagram.
Oh, I will. I'll do it later and tag you guys. But I would like.
What's a donut shirt?
Okay. So I had an encounter with somebody one time where I didn't know, I knew how to sell, but I was like a hustler seller. I wasn't like a professional salesman. So I'd come in and I would just keep like, I would hit as many times as I can, because I knew at one point you were just going to say yes. So that I was just hustle. Not trying to find different angles or anything like that. So I had an encounter with a guy who called me donut boy. He was like, I know your type. You're just going to bring donuts, not offer any real value, and leave. So that hurt. I had my moment where I drove away and cried.
Right.
I was like,
there. Dude, the truth.
Dude, I went to Barnes and Noble and I bought books on marketing. Like, I was like, I will teach you. So I took that moment and I learned from it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a little anarchist about this and go buy shirts that have donuts on them. And then I'm going to make it a point that every Friday I'm going to go into this guy's office with a donut shirt and a tip. I'm going to give him some knowledge and donut.
Right.
And that's what I did. Like every Friday I would go in there and I'd be like, hey man, I don't know if you've heard about blank thing yet, but I hear it's got good results from these couple people I'm talking about. And this is what I think is going to work. Also, I brought donuts for your office. And then walk away. Right. And that was it. And I ended up becoming really good friends with the guy and everything. We talk all the time. Right. Like the whole having a voice and being genuine, like that's where you have to walk the line of, if anybody else who wasn't a part of the interaction that me and him had saw me walking in a donut tray, they were like, is this bring your kids to work day? Like, what's up
Right.
with the high school senior over here?
Right.
What do you guys, what's going on?
Right.
And so that, like, had I known then what I know now, I probably would have done it in a different way, where it's like bonbon videos and like a crumble cookie or something, to where it's just more one-to-one selling. But yeah, that was my a little bit about me.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. No, you're dropping a lot of bombs. I'd love to have you back, because we can probably film more content with some of the knowledge that you're dropping here. But one of the questions I had to follow up to the kind of the content Instagram is lengthwise, right? And actually, the bigger question I want is, and the most important one is, like, and someone commented here, spot, what about calls to action, right? How are we prompting the the engaged audience here now that we've hooked them, now that we've engaged them, right? We don't want to just keep entertaining them, because that's not our job. At the end of the day, we want to do a transaction. What is the call to action?
So I'll take the first question of time, and then I'll answer the call to action question. Okay. So first part about time, look at trends. What is Instagram lacking in content? And then how can you fill that void? Anytime that you see a change in how Instagram's playing, play that game, because your reach on Instagram is so small already that if you want to get reach and exposure to people outside of your follower base, use the things that they're giving you. So right now, for length, anything that is is up to 15 seconds. So you're attacking Instagram Reels, and then anything over a couple minutes, so you're going IGTV. Okay. Because we're trying to, again, fill those voids. We want to push content in places that Instagram is pushing content on explore pages, in their video feeds and other things. So more so than IGTV, fill Reels up. TikTok took a huge chunk away from people. TikTok took a huge chunk away from Instagram when their platform started going real viral because of short hitting videos. So what did Instagram do? They threw the rebuttal. They added Reels in. They still haven't filled that void, because what are people doing? Taking TikTok videos and putting them on Instagram. Right. So
but you get demerited for that, Yeah, Facebook they will demerit you for that. You won't get the reach.
Right. So make your organic content on Instagram, posted organically on Instagram, and attack Reels, and make as many as you can, and try out different stuff. I've seen a lot of agents doing the thing where they're just dancing and like pointing at stuff. It's totally fine. If that's your thing, do it. If you are going to go on Reels, I'll give you one thing that I really, really, really want people to focus on is, aside stories, look at transitions. Spend a couple hours looking on YouTube about how to create transitions in videos, because you can have a lot of fun with phone to door, open door, master bedroom, closed door, boom, different house. You can have fun where it's like you're almost dropping your phone in the pool, pulling it out, it's the master bathroom or the master bathtub or stuff. So have fun with transitions when you're making Reels, because it's that grab their eye, have attention, push them to your page. You're creating stuff, bringing them back to your page. So that's the time. And then entertainment. So how do we build off that? We're entertaining them. How do we have a call to action? For your call to action, identify your soapbox. First and foremost, where do you want people to go to? What's the end game? Instagram's not the end game. Instagram's the top of the funnel, middle funnel activities. It's not where we're going to have them end. Where do they want them to end? Are you a person who likes to drive people to your website? Do you have an established website? Do you have a CRM with a landing page or something you want them to fill out? What is that soapbox that you want them to go to and hear you speak from? And you can use the link in your bio to have something like Linktree or one of the other 1,000 alternatives to Linktree out there to play with different calls to action. If it's, hey, I did a reel that had a lot of engagement and I showed off 4 model homes for blank builder and people are curious about it, my caption is going to be something like, my call to action in my caption will be something like, click the link in my bio to view blank builds homes, or to see more videos like this, so that when they click on the link in my bio, it'll say new builds. They can click that button and it takes them to my website, where it's a page of just new builds or different content I made from new builds or something like that. So that way you can push them to where you want them, that has your lead capture form, more information about you, and can push them along in the experience. Of course, we can get super. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. What do you recommend for people as far as how many followers they should have a goal to attain?
35 million. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. No, an attainable amount would be
organic, not bot, not by an influencer, but from what their efforts are.
Ideally, a really nice amount for a real estate agent would be like 3,000 mark. And that's normally, like, most agents have sub 1,000 followers. Like, the average real estate agent has that 700, 800, 900 follower mark. I think with a couple of these changes that we're talking about now, you can get closer to the 3,000 mark and then play around there. And the reason why I don't get crazy and say like, hey, go for 10,000 so you can get the swipe up this and the this and the that, is because you don't need 10,000 followers. You honestly don't need 3,000 followers. No. If you had 100 followers that commented back to you and engaged with you, that's your Instagram follower account. That's CRM. Well, that is your other touch point.
And I asked that, it's kind of a leading question, because I think what people need to do, and you've alluded to this, I just want to repeat it, Anthony, and that is the analytics. So if you're going to try a particular type of a reel subject matter, okay, you need to maybe do it for 2 or 3 days in a row. Tell me if I'm wrong, and see what the analytics are. And then try something else for 2 or 3 days. And like you said, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, you'll figure out what the consumer wants to see, because it's not always what you want to do. It's what the consumer wants to consume.
Oh, 100%. And that goes to a conversation we had earlier, where it's like, what kind of content do I create? And it's, you create what the consumer wants. And there is the fine line. That's the fine line to walk, because it's, how do I stay authentic and true to myself and create content that somebody wants to see, but they're telling me I need to go do this, and I don't like doing that. I want to do this over here. And there's so many, you see it more prevalent on YouTube than you do Instagram or other platforms, where creators will have that video of, I'm done, I quit, this is my last YouTube video. And the story that they tell 9 times out of 10 in that YouTube video is, I started creating YouTube videos because I loved it. It was fun, and I'm a creative. And it ended up being that I'm at the whim of YouTube, and I'm fighting for views on an algorithm, and I had to make clickbait and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to worry about that, because your revenue generator isn't ads on these.
Right, isn't ads, correct.
Yeah, so play that middle ground of, hey, I see that they like videos of me, not what I said in the video. I see that they like stats, not the stats I gave. I see that they like pictures of homes or me touring homes, not that build. Because you don't want to always have to just chase the one builder, chase the one this. So when you're looking at the data, look at it more on that general scale of, what type of content is this, and then I'm going to make more general type of that, and not people die in just the specifics of it.
So Max, you brought up about the calls to action. And one of the things, and I'm date myself a little bit here, Anthony, but Gary Vee used to say, tell them, if you want more information about buying $1 million home in Vegas, DM me. And he used to get a lot of course, he wasn't selling homes, he was selling something else, but he used to get a lot of business that way, especially his wine business. What do you think of that, of asking people to DM you for more information?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, DMs are amazing. I mean, we had the whole, it goes down in the DMs. Like, there's so many things that you can do in there. And I like using it as a call to action for depending on what people are doing. And again, it goes, hey, if you don't have a site set up or you don't have somewhere to push people, and Instagram is your soapbox, your call to action will be DMs. It will be, hey, if you're curious about this, leave a comment below, or me, or something like that, so that keeps them on the platform and you have some way that you can reach out to them again.
Right.
The flip of that is that it doesn't have to just be them DMing you. Go on the offensive. You know that there's the key thing that you can do to be offensive in real estate on Instagram is using places, not hashtags, places. Go to your search bar, go to places near you. You can DM, comment, message, like anybody. And the beauty of Instagram is anybody. So what I do is store owners. Hey, I'm 89123 zip code. What are the main stores there? Click it, go to their Instagram account. Hey, so I know there's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now. I'm trying to do my best effort to help out small businesses grow. Just wanted to see if there's anything that I could do to help you get more business. Are you looking for more referrals to a chiropractic place? Are you looking for more people to go to your coffee shop? What's the thing? And then you can start a conversation with the owner of the business. And if they have a following, you might be able to lead that later into a collab with somebody, to where now your content's put on theirs and theirs is on yours, and you have more organic growth that way. But DMs, there's so many strategies around just DMing on Instagram, Facebook, or any of these platforms, that it's that forward message.
No, good stuff. Good stuff. So we're definitely having you back on, Anthony. By far, you actually, I can tell you're implementing this stuff because it's coming straight out. So no, appreciate you coming on the show today. Ruth, you want to post contact information where people can reach Anthony?
Hey, Anthony, they can go to the Modern Day Agent. Is that the best thing to do for you, or just go on Facebook and direct message you, or how would you like them to?
Yeah. So if anybody wants, you guys can slide into my DMs, or you can go to themodernDayAgent.com/Anthony Mendoza. That takes you to my landing page. In there, you'll see all my classes I have upcoming, a calendar, all the blogs that I've written. And then you can even go through the Modern Day Agent and see content and stuff for that my counterparts write as well. There's 17 of me across the nation, all equally skillful, all very educated in marketing in the real estate space. So it's fun here at West. We do a lot of good stuff and have a lot of brains that fight each other constantly on what's working every Friday. So.
Well, I think what's really lacking, Anthony, is agents and Instagram, teaching them the right way to do it. And I think that's a very critical thing, that if they're going to spend their time on a platform, they need to see some results, not just do it for the sake of doing it and everybody else is doing it. So perhaps you can think about coming back and we can do a little, some bullet points of what we're going to show people how to do and why to do it. And what do you think of that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I right as you said it, I thought I was like boom, 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 boom thing. Yeah. So we can for sure get together on an Instagram class to really help them implement it and grow.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Absolutely. All right. Thanks again, Anthony, coming on. Ruth, what's happening in training?
What is happening? I'm going to hide Anthony. We have lots of things. So this Thursday, we had Be the CEO of Your Life. And I just want to put this up here because this is what people have seen in the past. That class has been changed by popular demand for broker management. And you don't have to be a broker to attend it. It's a general CE class, and it's filled with information and ideas about running your business. But it's not Be the CEO of Your Life, it's broker management. And then the following week, we're going to have advanced strategies on listings, which we all need more and more of. And then cybersecurity is going to be March 25th and March 26th. We're going to have writing and presenting the purchase contract. And then we're going to have another law class in March 29th. So this month we just have we have 4 core classes and 1 general. So if you need your license credits, this is the one-stop shop to get them. And Jimmy Dague is just awesome. And Jack Lindberg and I do the cybersecurity class. And then I'll put this up on here. Coming this Thursday, the 18th, we have a social media class that's free twice a month. And it's 2 hours. It's 1 to 3:30. And we go over how to do certain things in social media. And that's what I was just talking to Anthony about. And maybe I'll have Anthony come to my next class and with the how-tos as well as doing a Saturday video, because people they know what to do, but then they don't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. And let's see if I can get Anthony back here. Where'd he go? Hi, Anthony.
Hey, I'm glad to be back.
Hi. So I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me. So we do 2 social media classes every month that are free from 1 to 3:30 at 8400 West Sahara, the Be Social Savvy Training Center. And I have canceled a couple Instagram people over time because I didn't feel that they weren't going to teach what I wanted them to teach. So, it's my call, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I manage all these agents and I kind of know them. And I think what they need is a more basic on Instagram, how to and why, just basic stuff. We've done classes on how you set up your bio, how you do link tree and those types of things. But there's more. I think Instagram is not the easiest platform to figure out. And it's very intuitive and it's very personal. Just like you were saying, you've got to grab that audience to get their attention. And if you don't, that might not be the platform for you. We don't want to keep beating our head against the wall and wonder why it hurts. Maybe you're more serious and you should go to LinkedIn, or maybe you should go to Facebook. I mean, I think that people need to know they have options. So if you are available on April the 1st, I will publicize that you'll be in our class from 1 to 3:30, and you can let me know if you don't know now. But
no, yeah, let's do it. Lock me in.
Oh, okay. And then this Wednesday, we're having a class, and one of the things that we're doing on this Wednesday is we're going to be showing people how you use some of these videos, like this one. So we're going to be giving away that video at the class. I have 2 other ones. One is about the spring. This is another good one for people to do listings. And if you come to the class, you'll get these for free. And we're going to create an ad using these to get people comfortable using the ads before they actually go live themselves. At least they have something to catch people's attention. So we're going to do a listing ad and a relocation buyer's ad. So anyway, that's what we're going to do this Thursday from 1 to 3:30. And that's it, Max.
All right. Well, Anthony, pleasure having you on the show, man. Looking forward to having you back. And the great thing about this marketing game is that it's constantly changing, and we all need to evolve and go with the signs of the times and the trends. So, this is a business in an industry where we're going to have.
I lost you, Max. Where'd you go?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay. You can hear me. So no, appreciate being on the show. As the marketing game evolves, love to.
I lost you again, Max. Can't hear you. Can you hear him, Anthony?
No, he
went out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Internet, right?
Yeah.
The love of our life.
I always tell people, I'm like, the worst part about being a tech guy is bad internet, or when it's not working right. Because you queue something up and you're like, here we go. And then you wait and you're like, ah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. Okay. Well, Anthony, thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and I would like to talk to you sometime this week about some other things. I don't. If you have a few minutes, let's get together.
Yeah, let's do it for sure.
Where's your office located?
I am usually out of 7450 Arroyo Crossing, so kind of by IKEA, like right the
you're in
215
Henderson.
bend. Yeah.
Okay. Well, would you travel all the way up to West Sahara again?
100%. Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody. Anthony and I are going to put our heads together and maybe get something good for everybody. Together as well as separately, right? We both do our thing. Okay, an hour-long show, Anthony. That's almost a record for us. Love you all. See you